So, what I want to talk about today is 5 consequences of looking at porn. So, I went in, had a look through like messages with clients and stuff, and I decided to tally up a list of the main problems that people were having. So, I just did it based off the last 10 clients that I've worked with. And these are the top 5 things. So, the first one was sadness. A lot of people talking about sadness, and there were some words like darkness, misery, irritation, temper, helplessness, depression. So the overall one there is definitely sadness, and I think there's a number of reasons for that. I think when you're going through addiction, your mind is often looking at, it's like thinking about doing this thing. It's either thinking about not doing it or it's thinking about doing it. And you can feel quite hopeless and like depleted of mental energy and focus to actually think about things you do want, because your thoughts create feelings and your feelings create actions. So when you're going through a porn addiction, if you're just thinking about this thing that you don't want in your life all the time, you're going to feel pretty terrible. Like, that's very natural. And then in terms of like the neuroscience as well, you got the dopamine just absolutely flying off the handle, going all the way up, and then everything else just doesn't feel quite as good. You actually have something called CREB, which is a transcription factor, which dampens the reward circuitry. So normal things in life just don't feel quite as good anymore. And I know I definitely experienced that. Just everyday things, it's just a bit grey. It doesn't feel that fun or exciting. And that's because porn is giving you, well, you think you're getting this like huge amount of excitement, but really it's just addiction. So that's the first one, is just general sadness. And it's annoying that we have this world now where there is a lack of actual help and support for this problem, and there's so many people just talking nonsense. And so that just promotes even more helplessness and hopelessness, and people feeling like, how do I actually escape this? Because you're going to be watching videos like I did of people just talking absolute nonsense on how to quit porn. Like, no actual creds in addiction recovery. They've not actually worked with clients. They've not actually had the experience required to help people quit. They've just maybe gone on a streak themselves, distracted themselves for a few months, and then being able to quit. And I'm not saying that I've got years of experience in this myself, but I work with someone who does. I brought her into the team because I'm only 25. I'm not able to help people quit porn just on my own without having like an expert help me learn how to quit first. So that's what I've done. The second thing is isolation and feeling desperately alone, being single. Definitely hear this one. This was very common as well. And you kind of just, even if there's people there, like you could have your friends, family, everyone's around you. But when you're going through a porn addiction, you do feel like you're just this, for me anyway, I remember kind of feeling like I wasn't even human at times. Like, I was so disconnected from the world. I just wanted to kind of be inside of myself and just like away from the world. And it can be really isolating because no one knows what you're going through. Porn isn't something where people can go, oh yeah, that guy's a porn addict. Porn addiction is something that impacts thousands, probably millions of men. And most people won't know when someone else is a porn addict. They'll never ever know. Because how can you look like a porn addict? It's not something that you carry a badge with. It's not like a lot of other addictions where you can see their facial expression. Not the facial expression, just like how they look, So feeling lonely can be difficult. And there's a lot of shame around it as well. I mean, that is actually one of the main points on here, but that shame of like, I've done something that I'm not proud of. I've looked at some stuff that I didn't want to look at. And you start to feel like maybe there's something wrong with me. I've got this problem. How do I actually get rid of this problem? And it's pretty dark. It is. It really is. Another really, really common one that we had was self-loathing. So I think 4 people said this, and also other things like low confidence, self-disgust, low self-esteem. And I mean, no wonder. If you're in a porn addiction, obviously you're not going to feel very confident in yourself because you are out of control. You feel out of control. That's not the reality, because you always have control over yourself, but you feel like you don't have control over yourself. And not having control over yourself, to me, is probably one of the worst feelings in the world. You're also going to feel that self-disgust because you probably are looking at stuff that you're not proud of. And look, I'm not recording this here to make people feel good. I think that's the other thing about me. If you're like on this channel, I'm not going to sit here and just tell you lies like, oh, it's fine to be addicted to porn. Everyone else will do that for you. I'm here to tell you the truth. The truth is porn addiction is horrible. And until you face that reality, it's going to be really, really hard to quit. See, in the short term, you can feel good and comfortable living in a porn addiction, or you can face the reality, feel terrible for a little bit, but then actually deal with this problem, quit it for good, and have permanent mental freedom. That's what I want for everyone. That is genuinely what I would love. That'd be amazing. But it does start with actually facing these emotions directly and going, yeah, this is what porn is causing me. I don't want to go on with like this anymore. And in those moments that you have an urge, you want to go to these feelings. You want to like actually connect in your mind. Like, if I look at porn, I am going to feel the shame. I'm going to feel the guilt. I'm going to feel the self-disgust. I'm going to feel lonely. I'm going to feel all these horrible emotions. In your mind, if you can start to connect the addicted neural pathways with these feelings, that's going to be a game changer for you. And not many people are going to tell you to do that, because everyone else is going to try and pretend like looking at porn is fine. But if you do that, you're just stuck indefinitely. Nothing's going to change. So other things we had was numb emotions, emptiness, a desensitized brain, unavailable, no joy, a life of no value. And I think that's the one of like, you're almost like not a human anymore. I remember when I used to look at porn afterwards, I was like walking down this street and I would like pretty much bump into people. I was just so in my head, like thoughts just going round and round and round, feeling so desensitized to the world and disconnected that I would like bump into people. It was crazy. And then the other one I think we had was the erectile dysfunction, no sex life, missed opportunities. And that's a big one for me, is the missed opportunities with women. Like, I've probably had erectile dysfunction with maybe 5 or 6 different women. Overall, in my sex life, I'd probably say it's only been around like 1% of the time of like total sexual encounters, because I've had girlfriends, and once I've been comfortable with a girl, it's never really been a problem. But just with like girls, the first time, like if I've not built up as much of a connection with them at that point, but I do want to have sex with them, there has been times where I've had erectile dysfunction, and that has also been horrible. It's just absolutely depleted my confidence, just felt like the shell of the man that I am, feeling not good enough, feeling shame, feeling just annoyed at myself and what I've done to my brain. So that's another one for sure, is that missed opportunities with beautiful women, and the chance to actually connect and have that love in your life. So yeah, that's another heavy one for sure. So yeah, hopefully this video, as fun as it's been, will help you though. Like, genuinely, just acknowledging the reality of this addiction is going to be a game changer for you. What I would recommend doing actually is write down how this is making you feel. I talk about the remember letter a lot, but if you write down a list of how this is making you feel, and then next time you have an urge, just read through that list and then make your choice. Because you can look at porn if you want, but you got to realise these are the consequences. Learn by thinking, not by doing. I hope this video helps you. Check out the link in the description for a bit of free training if you want to learn more about the Beyond Compulsion method, which I use. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Goodbye.